Watch the paparazzi. Give it up for Kevin Thrasher, the editor and publisher of Thrasher when it first started back in '81. Come on, big hand, yeah!
Mom, Dad, Bud, Sis, boys and girls, skaters and skate fans, thank you on behalf of Thrasher. I thank you for this honor. Steve and Vans and Todd and Thomas at the Hall of Fame. I want to thank you very much. This is a real good thing. One thing before we begin here, and I got a little writing to read, some history to go over. Be sure this weekend to thank all those moms out there. Happy Mom's Day, especially skater moms, toughest job in the world. Okay? And by the way, that's my nephew Josh down here somewhere. He was born the day we started the magazine, so if you want to know how old it is, just ask him. January 13th, 1981. Anyway, I threw together a couple notes about the history of skateboarding, so I'll get into it. Some of this is pre-Thrasher, in honor of Todd Huber's Skate Museum, which is a really cool deal, and the setup that they did here is really just an excellent, good show. I think my favorite story about the history of skateboarding and the origin of the skateboard itself is that one where somebody's great-grandma was bombing the hill on the apple crate scooter. Remember those, the apple crate? Look kind of like this podium right here, with the panel bar, apple crate on the 2x4. Grandma's bombing the hill, heading on down the hill, swerves out, hits a tree, apple crate flies off, breaks off. Grandma picks up the 2x4 with the metal wheels and just continues on down the hill. And the skateboard is born. That was in about 1920, okay, believe it or not, it was there. But anyway, for the last 100 years, nobody has really improved on the basic stunt wood, you know? And anyway, a couple high points. A lot of people in this room started skating on metal wheels, moved on to clay wheels. I think an icon in this whole deal should probably be considered that finally in the early 70s, a few surf rats tried the urethane wheels on their woodshop made boards and realized a profound and radical transition. Skaters, did I just use air quotes? Oh shit. Anyway, skater now meant skateboarders. There's ice skating and there's roller skaters, but skaters now just means, you know when the sign says no skateboarding, and everything after is listed after that, cracks me up. It's a true outlaw deal. And we love that. Keep it that way. Anyway, skaters began discovering all kinds of new possibilities with urethane wheels and sought out new terrain. Empty pools, ditches, spillways, pipes, every street, every curb, every driveway. The only limits were in the mind and fear itself. And this, just about the time Tony Alva was offering up his Ted Nugent autographed Logan Earth ski for closer inspection, that thing called punk rock was rearing its ugly head. And by the way, that's a compliment, Tony. We were following you guys' every move back then. That was a reference to a photo by Craig Stesic, also a classic. A classic. When skaters met punk rock, it was probably the beginning of the modern era of skate culture. And skate culture has definitely had an influence on everything across the board. Fashion, food, everything. In May, towards the end of the 70s, even as skate companies and corporate interests tried to sell it to the masses and pay-to-play commercial skate parks were popping up across the land everywhere. True skaters went back underground while the rest kept rollerblading at the disco. The energy was laying low, but it was definitely out there. Skaters were back in the abandoned motel pools, the back alleys, and their own backyard ramps. And of course, trespassing and skating now fenced off closed parks for free. In 1980, and this, no mention of Thrasher can be had without mentioning two guys, partners of mine for a long time, and cohorts and friends, Fausto Vitello and Eric Swenson. I don't really need to go into it, but they re-engineered skateboarding and came to me, and our crew up in Northern California with an idea to start a skate mag in 1980. Dwayne Peters said, call it Thrasher. I don't remember any other names ever even being considered. I scratched out a logo. We didn't even have a photo on the first cover, just some crazy artwork I had done from the files. Buy skaters, for skaters, and all about skating was our cry. Grab that board. There's new cement and asphalt being poured every day. Slam the rules, skate and destroy. Bomb the hill. Fuck shit up. Had to drop one. Get it. The first couple of years we put the mag together with scissors, tape, and glue. A true zine. It was influenced by some of the punk rock fanzines that were around back in the day. There were no computers, no cell phones, no Starbucks even. It was all X-Acto knives and wax and galleys of type and pasting up and getting dirty, and it was cool. Mofo slept in Ed Riggins came in to drive the bus called Chaos at that time. Mofo slept in the dark room. We used to send him on the Greyhound bus from SF all the way to Del Mar to cover contests. Nobody had any money. Bryce Kanites came on to do production work, take photos, and drive a truck 200 miles round trip. After he was done with all that, we'd send him with a truck to go pick up the magazines at the country printer we were using. And just, that's the way it went. It was just hand to mouth, and it was, I'll tell you, yeah, like I said, nobody had any money, but we were having a blast. We tried to cover it all. Even freestyle, downhill, and slalom racing made it into the mag in those days, and if nothing was happening, we went out and invented something, or we'd go find it. The first street style in Golden Gate Park was a primitive example. And you can yell out the winners of these contests, I can't remember. I think Tommy G won the very first street style in Golden Gate Park. Jam at John Grigley's. First jam, one of the first jam sessions. Midwest Melee in Lincoln, Nebraska. Who, what? Christian, Cab, I know you were there. Roscop, they were all there. Bringing it to the heartland, corn-fed. Great Desert Ramp Battle, Keith Stevenson's ramp in Palmdale, sick. Tony Hawk, wasn't, yeah, what? Savannah Slamma, arena style, what were we doing? I do have to apologize for some of those street ramps we built back in the day, boy, they were ugly. The Battle on the Bay in SF, which later somehow turned into some extreme, I don't know, extreme something, whatever. But we were the first, that was with Frank Hawk. Sonia, she was right there. Sonia was right there during all of it. Those are just a few of those that come to mind. Many of these events usually end up in some sort of sticker toss riot, straight up fist fight, even a dead cat flying through the air at the Mile High Terror in Tahoe. And then the cat flew back, a return of the dead cat. Skaters will be skaters. Many classic moments and firsts appeared in the pages of Thrasher. McGill's McTwist. Gon's clearing the gap at EMB. Jake waving the Felper, waving a fistful of cash as Markovich launched and landed into the gauntlet of mobbing skaters at Wallenberg. Just opened up a whole new era in the 90s, I'll tell you. Skate Park San Francisco was going off every day back then. Since Jake took over the editorship of the mag, it's been one continuous hell ride. Thanks a lot, Jake. You fucking asshole. No, I love that man. He is doing it. I'm telling you, just look at this shit. Okay? And Burnett, Michael Burnett has got to be one of the hardest working men in skating right now, I'll tell you. He does it all. Give it up. This award is shared with all the skaters out there and the readers and subscribers to Thrasher magazine, for without you, it wouldn't have been possible. Also, the contributors to Thrasher over the years, you know who you are. To name names would include everybody in this room. If you want to know what's going on in skateboarding today, just pick up the latest issue of Thrasher. Skate the website, follow the king of the road. The essence of skateboarding is the doing of it. It's an endless adventure, and the age of discovery for skateboarders rolls on. One of my favorite and longest running departments in the mag is still photo graffiti. Readers sending in their shots of just their crazy antics going on, ramps, street, madness. That's the true spirit of what's happening in skateboarding. And one last thing, ask the doctor, Blackie, where's Blackheart? Where is Blackheart tonight? One last thing, I'll tell you, as everybody gets excited about going to the Olympics and being on TV and wasting time with social media bullshit, be careful what you wish for. The more rules and regulations and restrictions and schedules and judges and sponsors and guidelines you adhere to, the less time there is for raw fun and friends and adventure and just fucking skating. Skateboarding has definitely left a mark on this world and a lot of scabs. Keep it outlaw. Skating is a crime. Thanks a lot, you guys.